All right, so our next deck here is Red Black Reanimator. Reanimator, for those not super familiar with Magic, refers to an archetype where you are trying to take creatures from your discard pile and get them back into play. In this case, we've got Blood for Bones and Bond of Revival to help us do that. We have a variety of ways to get the Maw of Flames into our bin, whether it's Rix Maadi or Tormenting Voice or Glint-Horn Buccaneer or Cavalier of Flames. Lots of ways to get this in there so we can get it out for cheap. Notably, Bond of Revival floops this back into play with haste, which lets us run people down a little bit. It's just got a little bit of a mid-range plan too, because we just have these creatures that kind of generate value along with these Cavaliers that we can just hard cast. One thing that I'd like to comment on, because people often like to be greedy with their mana bases, is people are probably going to want to try and cut these Bloodfell Caves. Playing the 12 dual lands means that we have 18 red and 18 black, which I think is important to have because we have both triple black and triple red cards in our deck. So I think it is important to play all 12 of these dual lands. Gaining a life's not terrible either. So part of the problem with Arena, Def Fangirl, one of Arena's biggest issues in my opinion, is that I can't really tell you what it costs to buy a specific deck, because Arena, like a lot of these freemium games, kind of obfuscates and makes it difficult to calculate exactly what it costs to buy the thing you want. So in general, decks that have multiple colors in them need rare lands for the mana base to work, so they're going to be more expensive. Correct. You can calculate a price ceiling, but as you said, that's just in no way relevant. Italian Gaming, thank you for the 7 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, kind of interesting that they took the Rix Maadi and not the Blood for Bones. I wonder if this is going to get counterspelled. A lot of these decks have main deck vetoes. If they veto me here, they basically get a 2-for-1 because I have to discard the card as part of the cost. And it depends on what the rest of their deck looks like. The rest of their hand looks like. Having another discard spell also makes that make a little bit more sense. Might see them grab the Blood for Bones with this one. Yeah, the free rooms on MTGO are really low quality in my experience. Well, that was not the land I wanted for Christmas. Perfect. God bless you, little blood caves. If they kill this without playing Contempt or a Despark, we get back another threat, which is nice. He says this is opponent cast Despark. Magic is an incredibly low variance game, and the better player frequently wins. Thank goodness.
Keep an open mind.
Okay. This card's actually really good against us too. We have a lot of things that draw extra cards in this deck. Looking to fade a second copy of Veto here so we can take Teferi off the table. Narset digs them 4 deep, but she only happens twice. Whereas Teferi is a sustained source of card advantage, so I want to prioritize taking their Teferi away. Our small amount of interactive element was very useful here.
I'm known for my excellent fight. Here goes nothing.
Well, we can cast a big dumb dragon if we draw it. Got to the point where I prefer Modern over Standard because they're going to have to ban the Erroneous Bull. I mean, that's kind of all Magic formats right now. Have you seen Modern recently? Both the Magic formats that I've been playing recently have a reasonable amount of things that are obnoxious and a reasonable amount of things that I think are pretty okay. Yeah, Veil of Summer being an anti-Esper card in a format with this card is just beyond silly.
Let's slow this down.
And here I thought they were just gonna Kaya's Wrath us. Little did I know it was much worse than that. Much worse. Alright, Lightning Strike's obviously not great. I think I'm actually cutting Tormenting Voice against their deck with counterspells and Narset in it. Blood Crypt, honestly, I probably just want to be a little bit more of a fair deck. These are probably fine. Because, as they just kill my stuff naturally, I can bring them back with these. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, a lot of local formats, especially people playing at local game stores, don't tend to play things like the the go hard obnoxious decks. Yep, and then there's other ones that have human god control. There's a lot of variation. Some are more laid back and casual. Others are closer to all of the big bads. Yeah, Legacy has reasonable gameplay. If you enjoy playing with Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void, or Brainstorm Ponder, Force of Will, Legacy's pretty great. And I do like playing some of those decks on occasion. Like, on occasion, like a good, fair blue deck. Like, we played a lot of Jeskai Stoneblade before, and Jeskai Stoneblade's like a super reasonable deck that has very engaging play patterns. Just a lot of the good decks in Legacy, the play patterns are very samey. Although I also haven't played Legacy since Renin 6 was printed. So, like, the fact that there's, like, a splashable Wasteland you have return card doesn't seem particularly great. That sounds less exciting. Getting Wastelanded every turn is not something that I'm into. You know, people tell me there was a point where Goblins was playable in Legacy, and I'm not sure that I believe them, that was ever the case. I'm gonna play Glint-Horn Buccaneer and attack with it here. This doesn't die to Othakaya, and if it gets bounced by Teferi, it has haste, so I think this is fine. Goblins was tier 1 Legacy playable and it was still called Type 1. Sounds right.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Do I want to Rix Maadi? I don't think I do. I think I like all the cards in my hand right now. And the discarding to draw a card is not optional on this card. I don't think I really want to cash in any of these. So we can pay 2 to discard a card, and then we draw a card, and this deals the damage whenever we discard a card. And then I think I'm just playing a Midnight Reaper here. Yeah, definitely going to play a Midnight Reaper. We are in match 1, game 2. Got Command the Dread Hoarded out of the first game. Yeah, we played Buccaneer in this awkward red discard deck that I wasn't very good in. Seems better in a shell like this that's more mid-rangey, that's for sure.
Sorry I'm late. Time is much more malleable than people think.
Yeah, opponent kept a little bit of a medium hand, it seems like. Am I playing this? I think I'm playing this. Yeah, Dreadhorde's a staple in these Esper control / hero decks. It's their big go over the top card that's just like one card catch them back up. The other person doesn't see the spectacle animation, Stormy Waters.
Trust me. You'll thank
You're correct that it would be really bad if your opponent knew you had a spectacle card every time you hit the opponent. Correct. Really, really, really. I assume we're losing the Cavalier of Night here. That is 100% a point of damage that I would have missed in paper. Not close. Never remembering that trigger in paper ever.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Yeah, but it's probably safe to assume Arena's not going to give your opponent a bunch of free information. Wrath me, Poppy, wrath me. He's only a rare.
Queen Necromancer. Get out of my way.
Ugh. I can't even fry her. That's so bad. Yeah, I agree that showing you what they mouse over is a little weird. It's basically trying to emulate how it works in paper, right? Like you see what your opponent's doing in paper. But I think that's a weird thing for them to be emulating from paper to arena.
If you wish to surrender now, I have just the trick for this. You are a mighty warrior. I concede.
YOLO. Puppy! Was that a good one? Was that a good one? If yes, please explain. Do I want Angrath Rampages in my deck? They have Liliana. I feel like because they have Liliana, I want these Rampages. I'm gonna swap out 2 Grasp for 2 Rampages. Roar! It was, Fohawk. It was. Yeah, it's good against their Citadel too. Some of these times these decks have 2 copies of Citadel. Whenever I mouse over a card on my side or my opponent's side, I feel like I'm giving them a hint on what I want to do. I agree. Just for reference, I agree that them showing you what they're mousing over is a silly thing to emulate in digital. It's one of those things where like trying to emulate exactly how it works in paper Magic, and like that's something that you can just like not have be a thing in digital. Oh, this is fine. I'm gonna bottom the bond here. Good bottom. Which of my cards would you like to throw in my discard pile? Dealer's choice. There are lots of sweet mechanics you can do in digital that won't work in paper. The old Hex CCG game that I spent a while playing, it was basically just Magic with digital mechanics. And a couple other small detail changes like a better resource system, but for the most part, it was very, very elegantly done with a better resource system. It doesn't just have to be random effects that you could do in digital too. Like, you don't just have to add variance to the game. Hey, Christopher Donnens, thank you for the brand new Prime Support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, rip ice is exactly what I was thinking. The Fate Weave mechanic being a super scry was really nice. Huh? I'm gonna take Thought Erasure here, actually. And then hopefully we draw an untapped land next turn and we can Duress the Cry plus play Midnight Reaper. For people that didn't get a chance to play Hex, basically, the Fate Weave mechanic was basically a super scry. Instead of just, like, looking at your top card and choosing to put it on the bottom of your deck, you chose resource or non-resource, and it stacked that type of card at random to the top of your deck, which was neat. So, if you kept like a one-lander that had a land that would Fate Weave, you were guaranteed to hit your second land drop. Pulled a lot of the variance out of the game. I think we're probably dead here. Feels like the amount of card advantage in their deck's just gonna bury us. And this is kind of a good example of like, in fact, we're probably gonna be saying this about a lot of the decks we're about to play today, because we've got a very, very mid-rangey lineup. Decks like this really struggle in this format just because there's so many of these really good go over the top mid-range decks, and like the big thing this deck is doing is not big enough to keep up with what Esper and Field of the Dead and Mass Manipulation and Nissa are doing, basically.
I know my responsibility.
So Bantu's not card advantage. Bantu is a card that converts some of your resources into a different resource. But Bantu is not card advantage. Alright, here's hoping we draw an untapped land and get to Cavalier of Night, kill the Sausage Shaker.
This might be a bad idea.
It's not even virtual card advantage. It's like I said, it's converting one resource into another. It's taking a resource that's less likely to be good, like lands, and converting them into something that's potentially not lands. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you enjoy constructed best of 3, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here and we get a lot of variety every day. As always, all those decks you see listed in the stream title are the decks we're planning to play today in the order in which we intend to play them. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful wonderful sponsors here really quick. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, you can find their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG Series. BCW Supplies, the only ones I trust to protect my paper, Magic the Gathering cards, using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com. You can save 10% on sleeves, binders, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories there with them. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn your cards into other cards or to other players with their peer-to-peer trading network. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. And, of course...
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
Alright, let's head back on to our next match with Red-Black Reanimator. First one was a little bit rough there. Hopefully we can find, some aggro decks in the format maybe, or something that's not another mid-range deck that's going to go way over the top of us. And Seta Hero, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every month. Thanks for sending it my way this month. We want Bantu in the Yarok field deck. I feel like if you're playing the Yarok field deck and your takeaway is you need more card advantage in that deck, I feel like you're playing a different deck than me. Like, again, keeping in mind, like, this is a problem, how am I solving it? Like, I don't feel like needing more card advantage is a problem that that archetype really has. No, there's not tutors. How does this deck ever beat Scapeshift? I guess a fast Maw could be okay. Maw helps kill through the zombies too, so we're gonna have a turn 4 Maw this game. Or turn 5 Hasty Maw, perhaps. Maw's a 2-turn clock. Yep, yeah, decks are 11 twice, basically. Have I ever considered playing Legacy? We've played Legacy a number of times on stream before. Just like everything else, you can find all of the past streams of Legacy on my YouTube channel and my website, magicesports.net. You can click Videos Legacy on the website to quickly find it.
Let's slow this down. Here we go.
61 weeks, 2 days, 11 hours, 56 minutes, and 3 seconds until Teferi the Time Lava rotates out of standard. Excellent, but who's counting really? But who's counting really? How much would it cost to force you to play Best of One? Look, my friend Benjamin can convince me to play most things. Ben and I, we go way back. And for most things, Ben'll make me do most things. So Benjamin will get you to play Brawl in the fall, definitely. Is Alpine Moon enough? Nope. Did you not see my opponent's 3-mana Teferi that could bounce my Alpine Moon and then cast the Scapeshift? That last game was just a great example of how this deck is just completely and entirely outclassed. Like, we did arguably the best thing our deck could do, and the cards my opponent's deck just happened to be playing in their main deck. We're like, nah, brah, your deck's bad. Get out of here. Blast Zone kills it. Well, Blast Zone... Oh, yeah, Alpine Moon. Blast Zone can't kill Blood Sun, but it can kill Alpine Moon. Did I pay for extra levels to head start the Master Tree? Of course I did. Do I look like someone who's gonna sit around and earn my things? What kind of stream have you been watching? Alright, if the top card of our deck is a dragon, we can put a dragon into play next turn. That's not the dragon I wanted for Christmas. All my money is Canadian. Will you take a Bobby Broden to play Go Fish? I don't know who that is. I don't know how much of a mortgage payment does Bobby Broden turn into? That's a question you gotta ask yourself. Hey, Matto, thank you for the 16 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They're down to 12, chat. They're down to 12. Oh no. Not my Buccaneer. He was a good little pirate. Don't send him to prison. Ay, 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 ay. Do 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 do.
I am not going to sit this one out.
Have you played Reanimator Blue yet? We have. Yeah, we've played we played a Sultai Reanimator variation yesterday, in fact. We've played Blue-Black, and we've played Esper. Basically, every iteration of this archetype you could think of, we've played.
We will meet again.
That's true. We can cast our dragon now. His format needs more Goryo's vengeance. Yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna let this one be a quick one. Let's wrap up just like... Oh, that was the wrong deck. Let's just wrap up highlighting. Again, like, even when you do your thing's not good enough against a lot of the other good decks in the format. It can be too slow against aggro sometimes, and against these mid-range and control decks, they go over the top of you, and 3-mana Teferi just, like, bounces your thing, and you're just like, nice try, nice card. Just not particularly competitive. Felt kind of clunky and awkward.